This world's in a deep, dark place. We all know why. We don't need to rehash the events or talk about the details. Ari Goldkind is here. Ari, how are you?
I'm great, Todd Shapiro. So you want to be safe and talk about Charlie Sheen? That's a good subject.
No, that was me. That was me telling listeners a little later. And it's not. I wonder if we almost will do like a political panel today, whereas I'll be the moderator. Jay Brody will be with Ari Goldkind responding, and then sitting in guest didn't leave. We're grateful for his time still. Judah Friedlander right beside.
Yep, future president.
Okay.
And I have to say, Jay Brody and Todd Shapiro, I'm holding, because you really have a great guest in Judah Friedlander sitting right next to me, and I loved his show, loved it. Tina Fey, on the top of your book.
Yeah.
I'm reading your book as we are on air. If the Raindrops United, I'm a team player, so I want to plug it.
We already did.
But Tina Fey, that's not the point. That's not the point, Todd Shapiro. Bear with me. Tina Fey says, I think this book will probably fix the world. Unfortunately, I think Tina's wrong. I don't think the world can be fixed, but if you can,
Ari,
I'm
nice
all
and
ears.
close to the mic when you're.
I'm all ears.
Well, she did say probably.
Right. But that's a great plug. But I'm thinking in the last
Well, a lot
week,
of the book is actually deals with big issues of
well,
classism.
I looked at the tornado. Tell people about the tornado.
Oh, yeah,
I looked at that.
We all saw the tornado.
Well, I also have a 9-page comic book in here called Gentrification Man.
Yeah.
And he's the first superhero to stand up for the rights of the super wealthy and corporations. Let's face it.
That's clever.
He turned a laundromat into a ketchup spot, which was all organic or something,
Yeah,
right?
it's like $50 ketchup. Yeah.
All right, that's good. Anyway, sorry, Todd Shapiro. I digress. I
listen,
digress.
Man, you know me. There's no.
I'm a
there's
team
no
player. I have to
formality-
put it.
There's no formalities on this program whatsoever. It's like it's like the Wayne's World of radio. We don't give a fuck. We just kind of drop in.
I've got the mic right in front of me right now.
Ari, I have to ask because I know.
I plead the fifth.
Don't yet. Because of all the discussions we've had for now, probably up to 6 months, we've had you as a regular. It's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, a little longer. Actually.
Do you know that for sure? I was trying to market.
Time flies.
Well, I don't want to pay you yet, so I'm just trying to make it seem like it wasn't that long.
I don't do it for the money.
Okay, no, you actually don't do anything for the money.
I don't. I love talking to you. Period.
I'm getting paid $50. Yeah. Last time I was here was 25. Okay. And I got a raise.
At that rate, we're fucked.
You know why? It's because I'm American.
Okay.
It's the American way. Capitalism. We're just more capitalist than you guys.
It's gentrification.
Yeah,
man, right?
we pay for our health care. We don't get it for free.
Mr. Goldkind.
Yeah, I want to talk, man. This is cool. I'm excited.
You've been very outspoken in the past.
Yep.
With some concerns about refugees coming to Canada or America from Syria. Mm-hmm. With now what has happened in Paris and whether there was a Syrian passport left there or whatever on the scene, and who knows what's true or not true. Mm-hmm.
His fingerprints are the key to that story.
Okay, well, you're the lawyer, so you'll get into it. Tell me more details, please. Do you still have these same concerns?
Yes, and now they've been proven true. And so all of the people who have the concerns that I have, everybody in the social media world and the Twitterverse, which I think now runs the political establishment, I think it's terrible.
By the way, you think their stocks would be higher? I'm fucking invested in
Twitter. I'm glad that it's going down.
Okay.
And I'm glad that Twitter's laying. As much as I hate people being laid off, and today was a horrible day in Toronto media, a lot of great people I know on the TV stations I do work for were laid off today.
Did Bell get rid of all their people today?
Bell got rid of a lot of people today, and it's very, very sad.
Jay, we got to kiss SiriusXM bosses a lot more.
But as much as I don't ever want people to be laid off, and to sound a little Bernie Sanders for a minute, you always see 25,000 people being laid off with not even a thank you or a goodbye. You never see 25,000 people being hired. I like the idea that Twitter is not doing well. You know, I use Twitter as a means for an end. We all do. Todd, you have a great following there, and you use it in a very positive way. But Twitter is a dirty cesspool. And what I'm seeing, it really is. And what I'm seeing today in terms of post-Paris, the things that people are saying on Twitter, and I don't think
you should see what they're saying about Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Anyway,
well, no, but the Charlie Sheen story to me is interesting for the reason that nobody's covering. Everybody's covering it because he says he's got HIV and all of this. I mean, this is a guy to me who's a criminal. He's a criminal. For 4 years, he has been sleeping with women, unprotected, and not telling him.
Well, we don't know that.
No,
sure.
we do know that. That is a fact. He essentially admitted on the Today Show. And I'm telling you, if his name wasn't Charlie Sheen and he was doing that in Toronto, he'd be calling me up to be his lawyer. The fact that he's a celebrity is disgusting. What he's done to women, as much as they know he's a no offense if I don't know who's friends with who. But
Judy's here, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're a buddy and you hang out at his mansion. I don't know. But I have a huge issue, not even Charlie Sheen, when people don't tell other people what they have. And to me, that is as much of a sexual assault as anything in my mind could be. So to me, all this glory he gets, and I've said this to you for years about him, this guy is a dirtbag of dirtbags. Celebrity seems to cleanse it, and the porn stars and all this. If his name wasn't Charlie Sheen, born with that
he'd be a drug-using
and to
crackhead.
Me, but the idea that he's sleeping with women without a condom, without telling them, and he says his virus load is undetectable, which is actually factually true. I've done cases about that. It is, to me, the height of disgusting. And as much as these women, some people are saying these women had it coming, they knew what they were getting into, I'm sorry. When you have HIV and you don't tell somebody,
well, I believe in California that is a crime.
Well, now there's the condom law for the porno industry in California.
No,
how do I know that? I don't know how I know that.
No, but I think in California,
Yeah.
if someone has an STD and they have unprotected sex with someone and don't reveal that, that is a crime.
And then
where
I'm
they
happy
could
to hear
serve
that.
jail time.
And I'm very happy.
It is here, isn't it?
No, here it has to be
Proven.
And it has to be HIV or AIDS. It's not a basic STD. But
Yeah, I don't know if it's basic STD, but I know for HIV,
No, that's-
in California, that is a crime. So, I mean,
and it should be.
I wish everyone the best in all that situation, but my guess is there's probably going to be a hell of a lot more to these stories coming out, and probably
and he did it to stop the stories.
and a lot of lawsuits.
Right, and he did it, as you know, and even his lawyer is commenting today. He did it so that he could stop paying the blackmail money. I think he was up to $4 million in blackmail
Some reports
payments.
say $10 million.
Maybe
so,
10. Well, sure.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't have any inside scoop any different, but that's why he did it. And to me, the idea that he was brave to go on today, he did it to get out in front of a National Enquirer.
His damage controls.
No, but the
mitigating
National
damages.
Enquirer piece, which he did to sabotage, comes out tomorrow. Everything about this guy is disgusting, and everybody would agree if he wasn't a celebrity. But he's a celebrity, and somehow that seems to wash this. And he's got 5 kids, by the way, Judah.
Oh, I know.
5 children.
I know, but I wouldn't necessarily say everything he does is disgusting. I would say maybe this. If he's deceiving people, if he had been deceiving people and endangering their health, yes, that is horrible.
Okay, that's fair, and that's what I'm referring to.
But let's remember Hot Shots Part 2. That was a fucking funny.
Yeah,
That's good.
Major League.
Major League is
Fucking
great, undisputable.
hilarious.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So let's just remember that.
Okay,
Yeah, never forget Major
I
League.
can't
Let's
top
remember,
no, Hot
and I don't mean this to cause any disrespect to anyone. O.J. Simpson, amazing football player. He was a great fucking football player.
Underrated.
And
Naked Gun.
and that's one thing which I'm big on is like looking at nuance, and I think that's something with the Twitterverse, like you're saying, how there's there's no nuance anymore. No. It's like you hate.
Yeah.
It's like,
if you don't agree with somebody, you hate them. End of story. It's terrible.
Well, yeah,
Anyway,
right.
back to our regularly
things.
scheduled.
Well, I mean, that's good.
I'm trying to digress because Todd knows where my mind's at on this, so I'm digressing.
And back to and again, there's with the Charlie Sheen situation. I just want to put it out there that I can only hope that if God forbid, man, people didn't know and he did have sex and they contract this virus, then he should be criminally held responsible.
No, it doesn't matter if they contracted or not. It doesn't matter.
No,
that they're exposed.
He should be anyway. You're right.
But that's wrong.
That's wrong.
Right.
You're right. But and I guess I just wanted.
I still hope for the best for everyone.
I still hope everyone's health is okay.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
like-
I'm not that nice.
No, you don't. Okay.
Oh, I would.
I don't.
Yeah,
but I don't. I don't.
Yeah, I would.
Same when people said things about Rob Ford. I'm sorry. Like,
That's our old mayor.
Yeah, that's
I know.
you know who that is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the pity party for him, and I'm like, excuse me. Like,
What was
if you're
the
a
pity party for him?
He's got cancer, and everybody it seems to wash away all of his sins.
Oh,
and to
okay.
me,
Right.
you know,
I
at
see
the end
what
of the
you're
day, good people deserve the very, very best of things. And when good people, honest, hardworking, decent, kind, good parents.
You're talking about me.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking right at you.
Just
of course.
checking.
No, but when good people get cancer and they're taken
You're
away
not
from it,
talking about me.
that's one thing. But when somebody who's rotten in every core abuses his wife, abuses his children,
Right. Well, I think.
I mean, come on.
I think what people need to do is be able to. I forget who did this. A famous author wrote a saying about being able to hold 2 ideas at once on the same issue, or compartmentalize. Is that like you can still have compassion for someone like his health,
Yes.
but you can still absolutely hate
Right.
what his policies were
Right.
or whatever it was. You know
Right.
what I mean? You can have those two thoughts. You know.
It's a good line in the sand. The delineation, I see it.
You know,
And
it's
actually
where I
quite
am.
wise.
It's where I would
no,
be.
I, look,
You know what I mean?
I can't
Yeah.
disagree with that. I think that's
Yeah.
very fair.
Okay, it doesn't come across like that.
But
Ari.
I'm
Yeah.
not like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah.
That is my personal feeling.
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
way
yeah.
Judah and you explain it, I am persuaded that is a much more mature approach than mine.
Persuaded? You're not persuaded. You were just you persuaded.
no,
we didn't like waterboard.
No, I'll tell you, Todd, and but Todd, you know me. Like if
Yeah.
somebody says something that's a smart point, and I haven't thought of it that way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind changing my mind. I don't think it's
Yeah, yeah.
weakness to say, you know what, you
That's
have a good point.
That's an amazing comment, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. How with the internet, there's so much shaming going on.
I use that word all the time.
You know, it's and bullying, and
Yep.
coming from the left and the right. You
Yep.
know, and it's like, it's okay to, to change your point of view on something. I mean, that can show. That doesn't mean you're a flip flopper.
That's what adults
shows
do.
evolution.
That means
That's what adults
that
do.
means
Yeah.
you've analyzed something
Right.
and you're growing, which is good.
You put that beautifully.
You know.
I couldn't agree more. And shaming, by the way, there's a great New York Times bestseller called Shaming, and it takes examples and literally just what you're talking about, Judah. There's a lot of famous stories. There's a woman who made a joke on a plane.
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
And, by the time she got off the plane, her career was over.
Yeah.
She was finished. And this book actually goes and focuses on 5 to 10 stories. The author's name is John Bryce, and it's called Shamed. It's a
I'll
bestseller.
check that out.
And it takes these 10 people that the I call it anti-social media, has taken and shamed, and actually delves into why these people who may have made one thoughtless crack or one boo-boo, they've had their whole life destroyed.
Yeah.
Brody's doing like a Hulk Hogan, like I want to get in with the hand.
No,
Well,
but
yeah,
I've
yeah.
talked about Hulk Hogan. I
Go,
have a real interest in that.
Just
Yeah.
to play
Yeah.
devil's advocate,
Yeah.
Ari.
Yes.
There's another New York Times bestseller called Selfie by Kim Kardashian, which is just a book about one person taking selfies.
I looked at that book for a little bit. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Nah, wasn't into it.
I can't believe that would be a book that people would want to.
It was
The
printed-
problem is we can believe it. That's the
It was
problem. is
printed
that we
on
can.
good quality paper. I'll say that much. It was high quality, glossy, thick paper.
I think it was cardstock.
It was. I will say that.
Ari, back to.
I'm digressing. I'm still
I just
digressing.
don't know how we went from Kim Kardashian's ass book to refugees.
I'm
but
trying
we
my
managed
best
to do so.
I still remember the question you asked me about things.
Of course, it was only 8 minutes ago. I hope you would. Jeez.
But I'm trying to really avoid it.
There's still, a lot of governors are coming out. Premiers here of some provinces are coming out in Canada, and they're saying, "Whoa, we don't want them. We don't want refugees."
Right.
So I have a question. Can I just ask a question about it? Because I'm guessing you probably know more about this than me. Is there a way to let the refugees in, but have a screening process or a better screening process so that the people who are, because I'm assuming that most of these refugees are not criminals. I'm assuming that's a guess. I don't, like I said, I don't know about it, but that would be my general guess, is that, all right, maybe there are some bad people sneaking in, but most of them are people who are fighting for their lives, basically. That's why they're refugees. Is there a way to keep bringing the people in, but have some kind
Better
of a
vetting process?
Yeah, exactly. Well
You want me to answer that? So,
Ari,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
a
yeah.
look.
No, it's a
so
question.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
it's a great
asking.
question
Yeah,
because
yeah.
actually, and it's such a great question, Judah, because 2 of our highest-ranking brand new ministers post-election here, we had a big election.
Oh, I know.
So they both talked about this yesterday. So the refugees, which is why I think the refugees is a total red herring of the issue. The issue isn't refugees, it's the people that are already here. This is why this refugee issue to me is so toxic. The danger is that the enemy is already within. If you look at what happened in Paris, most of them were born in Paris. If you look at what happened,
Nationalists.
they are here. Toronto right now, the cover of the Post right now, a Toronto-born ISIS member. It's not the refugees, but to your question, Judah, the refugees that Canada will be focusing on are people that have already been vetted through a program called UNESCO, UNESCO. These are people that have likely already been spending at least a year or 2 in refugee camps. So they have likely been vetted. We have this idea that it's people just coming off the boats that we see on TV. That's the image that, any listener has the picture that they're getting
Right,
in
right.
Greece, Lesbos, Leros, Naxos, Peros, these islands that they're coming off. Now, that being said, we will still get some of them. And the problem that John McCallum, who's the Minister of Immigration, said yesterday is our system can't be foolproof some will get through. Now, to me, that's playing pretty fast and loose with Canadian safety. It just is.
The word some should be none.
It should be none. And the problem is we keep calling them Syrian refugees. And this is the problem with our gutless political establishment across all parties. Nobody has a concern about refugees. This country would admit refugees and should have admitted refugees from all over. Black refugees from the Congo, Senegal, Mali, where they're being raped and macheted. But because they're black, this country has said, no, thank you. I've talked about this with you before. There are refugees all over this world that are in far worse states than people in Syria. If we called them what they were and had an honest conversation, the concern that North America has, including the Republican governors in your country, is not that they're Syrian, is that they're Muslim. And we are not having a conversation about fundamental Islam. There was no ISIS on 9/11. Every time you open up a newspaper, whatever your preferred newspaper is, we keep talking about ISIS and fighting ISIS. 19 Islamic hijackers changed the world on 9/11. Now, you can say they were an Al-Qaeda cell, but they certainly were not ISIS. And people make these claims over and over that we're fighting this organization that you can bomb. You can just go to Syria and bomb it. False. If you look at who the terrorists are, and by the way, look at all the terrorist plots that have been foiled by accident on the train. The American on the train. That would have been a CNN thing. Look at today. There's the German thing. They are winning. We are losing. And I have never seen a political establishment in the Western world be so gutless. It is absolutely horrible. You have people walking on edge, and all people want, and I don't mean the bleeding hearts, because all these bleeding hearts are leading to hearts that actually bleed. It actually drives me nuts. These hashtags, and changing your Facebook to the flag of France. And people are more outraged about a mosque arson in Peterborough last night where there was nobody there. They're more outraged about that, and they've raised more money for that mosque in Peterborough. Peterborough's a small town outside of Toronto. They've raised more money for that mosque in Peterborough. None of these people have sent checks to the 129 people and their families who were killed in Paris. Not a dollar from Canada there. Why is that? That troubles me.
Okay, there's a lot you said there, and I'm going to try and deal with a couple. No. I'm going to try and deal with a couple things.
Yeah.
I'm still under the impression, from what I've read and stuff, that there's still a radical. It's not like the overwhelmingly majority of Muslims, from what I see. Okay, so when you I just
talk about the real numbers.
Yeah, I talk
numbers.
about real. I just don't want to generalize, and I
Yeah.
know that there are some numbers that are in the majorities that don't support gay marriage and don't like Jewish people, and I get that. But in terms of going out and wanting to commit these acts against innocent people,
Right.
It's still
But
a
we know the
radicalist.
numbers on
Okay,
that. We know.
What are the numbers on that?
So if you look at the conservative numbers,
How many people would strap a bomb, do you think, and want to blow us up right now?
that is a very different question than supporting, condoning, and funding. Now, if you said to me how many would strap a suicide bomb to themselves, I can't answer that because I don't pretend
But that's
to know.
what I'm talking about, because I got news for you. There's a lot of people in Peterborough who are still just as racist or just as against one group, or going and starting a fire to a mosque. And what's better? What's worse?
So
Is that Canadian?
Let me answer your question.
Is that who we are?
Let me answer your question, because you and I have talked about this in a different segment.
Yeah.
This isn't about racism. This isn't about Islamophobia. This isn't about sexism. It should be about homophobia and anti-Semitism.
The crimes.
That's my point. This is about the safety of a Western world that is losing. And you can never stop losing, period, until you identify the thing that is beating you. And none of us in this room are going to do it. I'm certainly going to watch my mouth for all sorts of reasons.
I don't even understand what you're saying is the problem.
Well, if you don't, then I'm in a way glad, but I don't mean that. I'm saying because we cannot come out and say what we're really thinking, what the real cause of this is.
You want to say what you want? You're siding with like Bill Maher is what you're saying.
Bill Maher is my hero.
Yeah,
End of
gotcha.
story.
Yeah,
I got.
I couldn't put it better than that. Bill Maher is my hero.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I disagree because I think, I like Todd. Your question is like I think you're talking about a small minority that would do what you were just saying. You know what I mean? I view like even in America talk about things. I'm just talking about America, I'm not talking about Canada, but
The shootings.
you know, if you look at but just look at the Catholic Church. They're against gays. They're homophobes. You know, if you technically look at it, you know how things are like written out. You know, so it's like, and you know, if you look at mass murders that have happened in the U.S., it's usually white men. You know, sometimes of a Christian background. So it's like, it's, you know, like I said, I don't know enough about these things, but I certainly know people of all faiths, and including Muslim, and there's nothing wrong with any of them, you know.
So let me talk about that for a second, because one of the things that drives me
Hang
nuts.
on, Brody, because you're just on this point.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I gotta, to be honest with you guys, I gotta rethink my whole stance on this issue, because up until this point, I was pretty sure the I in ISIS stood for Irish. So I'm just not, I don't know what to do with myself now.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, you really need to take a couple seconds,
Yeah.
at least, and, you know, a little time out, you know.
So okay, well, I'm zipping my. I gotta zip my.
Why do you got to zip it?
Because I have to. I mean, I'll tell you.
Don't zip it.
Okay.
You're going to answer a question and talk about sort of Bill Maher. Muhammad. It just doesn't have the ring, but go on, Ari Goldkind, Judah Friedlander,
like,
Jay Brody.
No, but I'm like, you know, I guess I'm, you know, I don't know. I just view things differently. I don't view most people as of any particular group as being bad. You know, I really don't.
Okay,
I think
so,
you know how many Muslims have been killed by other Muslims in terrorist acts? It's like they're not, you know, it's like.
So let me
just say this, because this is what I want to say.
I'll give you a different.
I think at some point, everyone at some at points in their lives have probably made a racist joke. They've probably made an anti-Semitic joke. They've probably made their own self-deprecating kind of joke, whatever it may be. People have taken shots at one another, and hopefully you've learned from that and realized that if it's not just a joke, that you don't want to say, you know, back in the 70s, like people grew up saying the F word, you know, when you're talking about gay people. That was people just grew up saying that. You'd be playing foot hockey and you'd be like, what are you? And you just don't say that. We've evolved from that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm getting at is that there's so much disdain within this world, but there's so little who actually take it to that next degree, which is murder, innocent lives, kill. And I don't want to stereotype 25,000 in this country and 10,000 in another country, because all of a sudden I'm painting them all with the same brush.
But you're talking, okay, so again, this is the biggest problem.
But I will say one more thing.
Yeah.
I do think we need very strict measures to vet them so that some don't slip through the cracks.
Here's the question that nobody's talking about, and this whole refugee issue to me is so missing the point. Let's say there were no refugees. Let's say there was no Syria. There is no refugee situation whatsoever, but Paris still happened. We know Paris will still happen. We know London still happens. We know Bali still happens. We know Germany still happens. We know 9/11 still happens. So forget refugees for a minute. Forget refugees.
What's in their countries right now?
That is correct.
What's your solution to stopping
I
it?
can't answer that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can, but I won't.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know what you're thinking.
Well,
if you can't answer it, then
know.
you must, like, and honestly, you don't have to agree, disagree, and it's not what I'm thinking. But you're thinking like,
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
Okay, well, it seems to me like you would be thinking deportation or something, or you know, I don't know.
Let me put it to you this way. There's a really great article. Christy Blatchford wrote it. I talked to you about it.
Yeah.
Which is, we are so. If you say to people, it boggles. And Judah, you know, this is a United States thing too. There is a religion. No, but I'm saying because it really touches even, you know, some Republican governors have the guts to talk about this. There is a religion. I won't even say what religion it is. I'll leave it to people to figure it out on their own. I'm not going to even say it. That thinks Jews should be put into the sea. This is what it teaches. Jews are the scourge, and Israel should be wiped off the map. And leaving aside how unpopular Jews always have been and are always the scapegoat for everything, and the worst argument that people are making this week is that, you know, what if Jews were in a boat coming to Canada and the boat was turned away? Well, I'm sorry. Jews were turned away, and Jews had
World War II, right?
Correct. The biggest embarrassment in Canada's history, not that most are embarrassed by it if you really dig deep and do a lie detector test, but all Jews wanted to do was escape and come here and assimilate, make a life, work hard, be doctors, lawyers, not be on welfare, not be on the dole. The constant comparison between the situation we have now and the Jewish situation being killed by Hitler, to me, is ridiculous. But back to the question. Why is a country that says it's so tolerant, it's tolerant of Jews, blacks, Chinese, Indians, Sikhs, gay people especially, why are the people who say that's what Canada is and we're a tolerant country, why are those people so tolerant of people by the millions who are openly, and I don't say secretly, this is the big difference, I want people to understand the point, openly and brazenly anti-Semitic, anti-Western modernity, and anti-Semitic? Why is Kathleen Wynne, the Premier of Ontario, the biggest job in Ontario, Judah, Kathleen Wynne today says, no problem, we'll take all of the 25,000 again. This isn't about refugees. We have to have some concept in Canada of what our values are. And if we're okay opening up our doors, opening up welfare, opening up the housing that we pay for, they get vision, dental, medical care that we don't give to homeless or mentally ill people. Judah, it's amazing. In this city of 4 million people, we have such a homeless and mental ill problem that are living in the streets or living in the jails because everybody says we don't have the money for them. But we're going to bring in people who don't share the same view that we have. Thousands of them. I'm sure some do, and of course everybody's
that's where I disagree with you. I see what you're saying, but I respectfully disagree that the when you say these people don't have our values, and that's
but they would tell you that. But they would tell you that. That's why it's not as. This is the
well,
problem.
I don't know. I still
but
disagree.
They would. But okay, so I'll give you.
But
I've
talked to people.
No, but hold on.
They're not all that.
And here's the point: there are different strains of Islam, and we know that.
Yeah.
But for example, and Todd and I have talked about this on his show. There is an area of Toronto called Thorncliffe Park. It is almost exclusively Muslim and recent immigrant. They tried to teach in school sex ed, and the sex ed was as follows. If you find out that a young child is gay or transgender, don't beat them up. Don't bully them.
Well, that's
don't
good.
beat them. That's good.
Yeah.
There's 1,200 students in that school.
Yeah.
1,000 of them, 2 months ago, 1,000 of them were pulled out of school by their parents.
Right.
Because the
that curriculum. They didn't want to talk.
Because the parents openly, I'm just giving you an example, say anything to do with gay is deviant. It goes against our teachings. Now,
but was that just having children learn it at a young age?
But this is the point. This is not the Canada.
I mean, in America, there are people on
the Westboro Baptist Church.
No, but not them. They're different.
No, but everybody makes that link as if it's...
No, but I'm saying in America, there are people who've protested schools for just teaching sex ed in school. You know, and they're like, you shouldn't even mention that or teach that at all. So it's like...
And so here's the difference. The difference is, I think if you're extending the generosity of a country that doesn't extend generosity to its own veterans, in your country, Judah, veterans are treated miserably.
I know,
the
my
VA,
dad and my brother are both veterans.
You maybe we'll agree on this. They don't get proper health care. They're continually screwed at the VA, which is the Veterans Administration Hospital.
Anyway, all your point, are you saying let's use some money maybe more wisely into taking care of...
Or maybe have a conversation in this country that isn't gutless that says, if we're generous enough and welcoming enough to bring you into one of the most amazing countries in the world, because they want to come here. They want to fly into Pearson. They're not flying into Santiago, Chile. They're not flying into Tokyo, Japan. They're not flying...
I doubt they're going to Yukon either.
No, but this is not to me, and again, I'm trying to keep it in check. They are coming here because we are the most generous country, and perhaps when people come here, and lots of people need to come here, maybe we should have some kind of discussion education about the values that we hold dear. And if you're not prepared to say, I do not believe in homophobia, or I will allow my kids to learn a new way, or I don't believe there should be death to Jews and Israel should be wiped off the face of the mat. Now, this is never going to happen. Never, ever, ever going to happen.
Well, I think
but to me, countries should have borders. And if you're going to make those borders open, have them be people that somehow represent the best of Western values, not the worst.
Well, I think, I don't know how you do any of that stuff, but I think,
it'll never happen.
I think something doing something with educating people about tolerance and diversity of ideas and anti-bigotry is important.
And so, Judah, let's go back to what I just said a moment. Sorry, Todd, just to go back to 1 second
I
for
don't know all
listeners.
the facts. I mean,
but again,
the Muslim people I know,
and I know them too,
they're not that way.
but they're not fundamentalist. They are not fundamentalist, and you know what that word means. You're nodding.
Right.
They are not. For example, I identify as Jewish, but I'm as far from religious as you can
but
be.
What's to say that if and we've talked about this as well in the program in the past, that over time, a next generation will have a different view than their parents. And why don't? Because that's happened. That always happens.
Think about gay rights. Gay people just fucking got the right to get married in America.
And
I mean, how long? There's been gay people in America since it fucking started.
Right.
And they just got it.
Columbus was gay. I don't know if you know.
Amazing.
I did not know that.
So what I'm saying is, it's like, change takes a long time, and I just don't. I just don't think most are bad, like you're saying. So I
didn't say that. I didn't say most are bad. I said there should. I didn't say that. I said
I
to
thought
me
that was implied.
Well, whatever you want to imply. But here's the point: we keep lumping all immigration and refugees into the same. The same way that we shouldn't lump all black people in, like people say if you're black you should vote for Obama or not Ben Carson. The idea that all Jews would vote as a block, all blacks would vote as a block, all Muslims are the same. There are safety and security issues. And when you're pulling to talk about your point about education, because your point about education, Todd, this is your point too. Things change. But when you hope, but you're wrong. And
I don't think I'm wrong.
No, but hold on.
Because if I wasn't wrong, I can tell you the Jews would still be getting killed in Germany.
The Jews are always going to be the dirt on the shoe.
But they're not being killed. Like if everything has.
Germany's very Berlin is one of the most progressive cities in Europe.
Right.
For Berlin on Friday, she was very progressive.
Whoa,
she got naked in studio.
Right. But Todd and Judah, here's a question. Here's a question back. Here's a question back. You talk about education. You talk about the next generation. When 1,000 children out of 1,218 are pulled out of a school by their parents of one religion and one religion only. This is the Toronto Star. It's not me. You can Google this tomorrow. Maybe, just maybe, we need to have a more realistic talk about what's happening rather than our own internal goodness of hoping for the best. Hoping for the best didn't help the people in Paris.
Well, when those people pull their kids out, what do they do?
So
where do they go then?
Again, and Todd, you'll tell me the time. What they've done.
We're going to go right to 6. So I'm going to pre-record with my next guest for tomorrow.
So Judah, to answer your question, and again,
I have to run in a second.
No, and that's
fine.
I
do. I got shit to do. I was supposed to be done at 5. I'm staying extra.
It's going to go to $75
they
now.
Put them into they put them into private Islamic schools that teach the Islamic way. That's what the newspapers have reported, and that in and of itself. And don't forget, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Okay, listen,
there's a lot going on.
There's just can we not just get gays and rabbis or gay rabbis? I don't know if that's offensive.
There are gay rabbis.
Okay, so
they're
gay rabbis.
They're called gabbis.
It's not offensive at all.
Get the gabbis, right? As many gabbis as want to come out, and let them do the vetting process for the refugees. I think that's
Brody kind of had a joke.
No, but
can you tell your joke?
This is what I think.
This is a joke, people.
Because
okay?
I understand the hesitancy to bring people from a radicalized nation, one that we're in war with right now, to this country. So what I think they should do, and I think this should be the vetting process, right? Is you have invisible glass in the room, right? And then you have a group of refugees, and then you interview them. But the guy, and you put, you just, no reason, no explanation. You have a bunch of stones on the table that they're doing the interviewing on, right? And then you have a rabbi come in and a gay gentleman, right? And if anyone attempts to stone, if anyone picks up the stone and throws it at the invisible glass.
Brody's idea was to leave a gun. This is what you said, man.
Yeah.
And it's a joke, so I don't give a shit. I'll qualify it. Is you leave a gun on the table. Pointed towards the rabbi or the gay person.
And
the gun's sitting there, and someone picked it up and shot it, it would come out, and what would it say?
The flag, it would be like the Joker's gun in Batman when he would shoot and a flag would come out, and it would just be like, boom, deported, and you're done. And then we still bring in 25,000 refugees, but they just never
pulled the trigger.
They never pulled the trigger.
So you've sort of encapsulated my position and my point and my disappointment in all this in a much more concise sort of way, but I don't think you're saying anything all that different than me.
Well, I think we're saying is, man, for
Well,
any, and I said this
differ.
yesterday.
I differ, but
You-
that's okay.
and Judah Friedlander, I really believe this with any refugee. Let's, and I'm going to end it here. Let's just make sure that, don't stereotype any person, okay? And there were pricks in Peterborough, just outside of Toronto, who are and it's a terrible thing. Don't go because you're stereotyping now. We don't want it. We're not built on those fundamentals, okay? We're built on a ton more optimism than that.
Yes.
And I can tell you that there's going to be bad apples right here in Canada. There's going to be bad apples from Africa. There's going to be bad apples from Europe. There's going to be bad apples that come into this country no matter what. Yes, there will.
It's your side. I'm not saying
okay. I know.
I just disagree.
But we need a strict process in any country where you're letting in people.
Well, we're not having it. That's my point. We don't have it.
But I think
we
need
sing
it.
Kumbaya and hope for the best.
And I don't think that's a right either.
129 people lost their lives.
Okay,
129.
Hang on, but you don't just say, oh, we're just going to put the tax dollars into these first 25,000 if they ever make that decision. You do it. You make these stricter concerns of people
and
coming in.
Our government is not doing that.
Well, and I hope we do. And I also hope that we and I think we are doing as a government in the States and here is there's no question they want to protect this society, protect innocent human beings. And hopefully there's just, there's a lot of red flags and radars going off right now. And
we should
making
listen
sure
to them.
that
a lot of people are scared. A lot of people are scared. And
should be.
Yeah, but it's in my opinion that, this is just a theory here now, that people often don't make the best decisions when they're scared. You can lead to drastic decisions that are not necessarily the best decisions.
Yeah, because sometimes they're emotional decisions as opposed to calculated ones. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate your time. Judah Friedlander's book, If the Raindrops United.
Cool, and it was very cool to meet you. I
Yeah.
disagree
and
respectfully. And
respectful disagreement should happen more often.
Yeah, I know, and I also
healthy debates.
Yeah,
Man.
well,
I've said that to you a million
what
times.
else I like about it is that you have a lot of facts and details, and it makes me want to learn more about it. I've been I don't these are issues that I know a little bit about. I don't know as much as I could, so I'm going to learn more about them. But,
and that's another thing. Inform yourself. Don't just go spew hate on these social media outlets because you have that opportunity.
And try to get your news from more than one source.
And more than 140 characters, which I've said to you on the show, Todd, many, many times. 140 characters is not news.
That's a lot. That's a lot of writing.
But,
yeah, well,
this
is serious stuff.
I got to go back to my Kardashian coffee book. Thank you very much, Ari Goldkind.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you to Judah Friedlander at Ari Goldkind, by the way, on Twitter. If you want to spew some hate,
I have.
Oh, that's all I need.
And Judah's at the Comedy Bar tomorrow night.
Yeah, and right now I have a Muslim and a non-Muslim girlfriend I got to go to right
No,
now.
okay.
No, I'm kidding. I have no girlfriend. Ladies, I'm here for you. I'm here for you, ladies. No girlfriend.
I'm going to take a short break, just get a breather, and then I'm going to thank sponsors, and then we're going to bring in Melissa from Got Style for a second, and we're going to tease what we're going to talk about tomorrow in a pre-recorded interview with her. Thanks for hanging out with the Todd Shapiro Show. It's brought to you by Pizza. It does get serious at times, even though we do work on a station called Canada Laughs on SiriusXM.
Hey, what's up? I'm Roddy. Subscribe to our channel. You're going to love it. For the rest of this episode, you got to check out our podcast online on the website. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed.